Do I have to update the scores? Is the big question? No. Okay, I already did it. Phew. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We're currently at Game 7. Going on strong here between Root and Quantic Gaming. Currently the score is 4-2 for Quantic over Roots. But spawning here in the top right corner of the map, the newcomer to the arena, playing for Quantic Gaming, representing Zerg players and Pink, it is PHOG.
Yes, and he's trying to end this match that theoretically could have been over a couple of games ago against this guy spawning in the bottom left position. The last hope right now for Root Gaming, it is puCK.
Now, Nathaniel, I have to do something really awkward that's I gotta be right back 1 sec. My cat is at the door, and apparently she's still outside this late at night, so the camera's on you. I'll be back in like 10 seconds.
All right. Zwifkin goes to secure the cat. Of course, we got a lot of people in the chat asking how to do cat face. It is just cat face, no space. PHOG looks like he wants to open up, could potentially be 15 hatch. Nothing like a crazy fast spawning pool. Interestingly enough, though, puCK will not be going for that same gateway style that we saw on Whirlwind. Looks to be a bit more of a Nexus First / Forge expand type, and it will be a 15 pool from PHOG. So very standard. Doesn't want to risk anything like a cannon rush. Of course, that's not really puCK's style. puCK really doesn't like to do anything like cheese. puCK's very macro focused player, and we see that in the build choice here. puCK going to go now for that Nexus First. Not really much else to say. And puCK saying in chat he's giving me Hyun. puCK wants to play Hyun. Rifkin, puCK wants to play Hyun.
Excellent, good, great. Sorry about that. Animals, am I right? But no, I would love to see Hyun. That's kind of the match I'm pining for. Like, there's kind of like my favorite for each, and if there's 3 players to represent each race, I would love to see Hyun, puCK, and Pulse just kind of thrown into like this giant brawl for each of the races. So I think 2 of those 3 being potentially here tonight would be absolutely sick. But one thing to comment on, actually, Hyun, I believe, was playing and streaming Brood War all day. So maybe he's not StarCraft attuned at the moment, and maybe that's why they're holding him off for so long.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. I just remembered I was watching Hyun. I was actually watching Hyun play some Brood War earlier. It's kind of neat to see a little throwback action. But nothing really weird this game so far. I imagine that PHOG is going to play relatively standard style. I know he's willing to do crazy things like Roach Hydra versus Terran, so I don't know exactly how standard of play we'll see, but nothing unusual yet from either of these guys. puCK really likes his gateway units, though. I would be surprised if we saw him go for anything really different. Well, there's maybe 1 or 2 other builds that still focus heavily on those force fields that he was, well, honestly quite good at.
Well, the same way we would associate Venus with Phoenixes, I would associate puCK with Blink. And I think the really great thing about Blink, regardless of build, order, or anything like that, if you've got great control, which puCK absolutely does, it's going to play to your favor no matter what. If you've got a supreme micro and like 400 APM, as we saw last game, you could just sort of bulldoze your way through your opponent with Stalkers.
Yeah, it was just pure micro, really. He didn't even have an upgrade advantage at that point. And the only reason I say that is another build that puCK has heavily employed out of the Forge opening against Zerg, particularly against players like Hyun, is a +2 Blink Stalker with Immortals timing. And it's not quite the Immortal Sentry timing, but it's a lot of Stalkers, a lot of Immortals, and it's not really even a lot of Immortals, just enough trickled in to deal with heavy Roach counts, but still relying on force fields in micro to take games. And I'm wondering if we're going to see that this game, only because puCK really just hasn't seemed to be the biggest fan of heavy Stargate play in PvZ.
Yeah, the Stargate play is, I definitely think, viable and really good in some situations, but honestly, from a purely objective point of view, it has the potential to be really gimmicky. And if you're really good with one thing, why go for that risk? Why, like, if you've practiced Blink Stalkers for over 500 plus hours, I mean, who cares about your Phoenix micro? It will never be as good.
No. That's a very good point. Do what you are good at is a very good way of putting it, sir.
Well,
I was going to add on some gates.
Well, I was going to say, Zealot's been poking around in here. He wants to get in here, but the Queen of the Zerglings have been zoning it out. It's kind of awkward because PHOG just barely does enough to take out the Zealot, and the Zealot doesn't have enough balls to really go in there and pick off some drones. So they're both kind of just awkwardly standoffing at this rate.
Yeah, I like it. Zealot's like, it's like, well, you won't let me in. I'm gonna sit out here. I'm just gonna sit. It's like that creeper. It's like it's actually, it is like a creeper. That is what Zealot is, a creeper.
He likes to watch.
Yeah, he wants in, but.
Well, puck up here in the top. Gonna start throwing down these pylons. 8 gates coming out, Nathanius.
Wow.
This is 9 gates. This is way too many gateways.
It's more gates than your body has room for. He's not doing any kind of blink play. He's just going straight up +1 8 9 +1 9 gate. This is
who does 9 gates?
Crazy.
This is like a
9
doctor.
gates is man.
Like red fish, blue fish, one fish, two fish, whatever. Dr. Seuss. Like that's what I feel puck's gonna do with the Protoss right now. Where it's like, I can't get over 9 gates. This is ridiculous. This is going to give him one really big initial warp in, but he can't actually speaking of his economy, he just can't sustain it. Like 8 gates is done because you could barely keep that up. A 9? We'll see if this works.
Yeah, this is really weird. Oh, puck. Yeah, one of the gateways in his main. Okay, there you go. I was going to say, hopefully this wouldn't end up being an 8 warp gate build.
9 gateways, but 8 warp gates.
Yeah.
Awkward.
That'd be funny.
But there are a lot of sentries coming across the field. He did get these out early. They don't exactly have a ton of energy, but they've got more than enough to deal with the initial forces. And you know, with the fact that this is Derelict Watcher, I don't know if you spoke about this earlier, but with all these wide engagements areas, there's not a lot of great places to force field. So I actually kind of understand not wanting to take a late game fight and instead try to push for something now early and pressure.
Yeah, I mean, worst comes to worst, he can always just recall, like, if everything went to hell. But Zergling speed not even being done yet, kind of, it makes this really weird, because he can walk the sentries away.
It's about to kick in, but just like a
now
little
it's
bit too
done,
late.
but the sentries, he actually hasn't, I don't think he's managed to grab any. He hasn't killed a single sentry, and the force field's doing quite well.
With the battle cry of Hyun, we'll have to see if Quantic adheres. puCK has got a really deadly push. He hasn't won this game yet, but this is going to be very difficult for PHOG to hold on to. puCK's actually split his forces.
Yeah, but when a Protoss is willing to split their army to fight you, you know you're going to have a bad time. The drone's already pulled for PHOG. He's pulled from both the natural and the third.
A super all-in response.
You know what? It's that first engagement without the Zergling speed. I feel like it pretty much went entirely in puCK's favor, and now
I agree.
Look at this. He's got the Roach drone composition, of course.
Standard for 10 minutes in the game.
This happens every GSL finals when there's a ZVP and somehow not a Terran player. Somehow not a Terran.
Okay. PHOG is 100% going for broke, because I mean he would have put these back on mining by now. This is way
He's gonna put them back on mining. I don't even know why puCK's taking a third base. This is kind of funny.
Does puCK realize that those are drones from both bases? Because
I don't know if puCK realized that this game is this game is really heavily favoring him.
Yeah. The scary thing, though, we're kind of making light of the situation, but the reality is, too many times I've seen players reel back from a lead, allowing their opponent to catch up. And all it takes is puCK, one mistake, one missed force field, and suddenly the game goes from being so heavily in your favor to being either on even grounds or hell, you could be behind. So the longer he waits, the scarier this gets, but the reality is he's in such a good spot right now, he can afford to do this, but only for a little bit longer.
Yeah, he can pretty much do anything, and he chronoed the Forge, but he didn't start +2 attack yet. I'm waiting for it. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. He just chronoed the Forge. Whatever, man.
You know when people like burn money to show like how badass they are on TV? Like that's kind of like what I feel puCK's in. It's like I don't need these chronos. Whatever.
He's got chrono to burn. I'll be honest. He's almost max energy. There's the +2. There we see the warp prism coming out now.
Oh, I like that. The rolling of the R. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I can't do that. My R's they sound like this. Arnold Schwarzenegger.
He's moving out onto the field.
So many roaches.
Exactly.
Force fields. I can't even. No, let's not ruin this broadcast. It's good. No.
It's fine. He's not going to have any immortals, though. Most interesting. No immortals with this force.
It's kind of curious because he also puCK like doesn't incorporate them or didn't incorporate them last game either. So I don't know if PHOG, I imagine the entire team of Quantic, like whoever's on deck is watching, getting prepared. They should be if they aren't at least. But trying to take advantage of the lack of immortals. Lots of roaches are going to come in here. Splitting off. Ooh, the natural doesn't have enough to defend it. Just an overcharge for now. Good force fields, though, as PHOG backs off from the north.
There are a lot of roaches and Zerglings here, though. And a lot of these force fields have been expended as well. The arc here is fantastic for PHOG if he can get on top of this army. The potent overcharge was used at the natural. But he's actually picking away at these roaches somewhat decently. Fog, though, there's just
Blink's
so
not done
much
yet.
here. He's maxed out.
Oh, puCK doesn't have Blink. He actually can't retreat out of this. Warping in more Zealots on top of this. Those two weapons of the Blink are not going to be done. I mean, the roaches will probably get cleaned up, but they've taken out so much of that army. This is what I'm talking about, that lead dwindling.
And this is a very bad position for puCK. This, you mentioned it earlier, I think puCK might have given PHOG a little bit too much time here. He's knocking below 100 supply. He's climbing back up. Important to note, however, we do have an Immortal now out, or at least coming out. The +2 attack is about to finish for puCK. puCK has Blink, and puCK did not lose any economy. So I feel like puCK is still okay. It's
Give
just
him an inch, they'll
that
take a
lead.
mile.
Yeah, that lead is dwindling a little bit, but we do have to consider that all PHOG has is pure Roach with just 1/1. That's it. He's got some Zerglings trailing in, but no fourth base. Now he's going to take it. I feel like if PHOG takes that fourth base and then attacks, maybe he's able to saturate it by now and get extra money out of it. Still a really hard position.
A really key thing here, too, is now we have Immortals and now we have Blink. Two essential things that were missing from puCK's composition earlier. This push is still going to do a lot of damage, but it won't be as bad as it would have been, say, a minute and a half ago. The Immortal holding strong behind the natural, too. Stalkers here, again, they got Blink, but the Roaches are just pushing right on top of them.
Yeah, there's just so much here, and you know what? At this point, if those Stalkers do blink out of the third base area, he can just focus down the Nexus, and I like that puCK is dancing around the Nexus. He's willing to trade away Stalkers. The Immortal actually getting caught by the reinforcements. It will not join the main force, but you know what? I think with the Blink, these Stalkers are going to be enough. puCK, I think he's going to be able to hold this.
It's those level 2 weapons, man, really playing into his favor. The 1/1 of PHOG is good, but the Stalkers, of course, they benefit. They got 2 shots to go off at a time, but even if
that
he
micro,
holds this...
that Blink micro is so damn good. The numbers game, he shouldn't be able to beat this many Roaches, but he's like, screw you, I've got +2 and Blink. No, puCK holds.
And I'll give a quick little bump here. I should. puCK, he's got some immaculate Blink micro. You guys are seeing that displayed firsthand here. There's a lot of really good Kespa players, and you reference the GSL and whatever, but really, in my eyes, there's only one person that matches his Blink micro, and that's Arthur. So, like, these two players are, like, in my opinion, the top of the top when it comes to Blink, and puCK is showing it so strongly right now. I wish there was a way to have, like, a Blink off to find out who does, in fact, have, like, the best Blink, but, like, how would you do that? Like...
I don't even know.
Here's 50 Roaches who can micro better. I mean,
you'd have to dodge the unit that has the fastest moving projectile, maybe like Marauders or something.
Oh god.
Yeah, it'd be tough. You know what though? This army from PHOG, the longer the game goes on, just becomes worse and worse. He doesn't have +2. He's just starting +2, but now there's 2 Immortals. Now there's +1 armor on the way.
The other thing is, everyone knows how inefficient Roaches are. They're supply inefficient because they don't have that sustainability of the damage, and they take up so much. It's like, what, 3 supply for a Roach? So, I mean, the Immortals are going to start cutting these down. puCK is in this really awkward situation where there's no great place to force field here. And I want to point out, actually, puCK, someone who's had perfect force fields all game, that last engagement was really bad. We'll see if he can improve them here for this fight, though.
Yeah, it looks like PHOG wants to split his units off and try to get into the main, but the pylon walls from puCK have been good. puCK does have Stalkers in the natural waiting, and this spread of units is perfect. I don't know if PHOG can just punch in here. No, puCK has been impossible to bait this entire match.
This entire series, every game anyone's tried to bait him, he hasn't gone for it. Once again, PHOG not going to be able to do that. Doesn't cause any real damage, but he's on a 4th base now.
Yeah, puCK is pretty much just playing. I don't know. Like this last 2 PVZs has been like Sherlock. He's has everything figured out. Doesn't fall under any traps or anything like that. The Hydras are starting to come out. Not bad. They have a lot of Roaches to tank for them, but this is still gonna be tough. puCK has so much.
And he does have knowledge of this northern base. The pylon he established in like what, minute 6 of the game, still up. I'm surprised he hasn't hit it with some Zealots. And oh man, speaking of the devil, here comes the first one. Oh, but it's going to the watchtower, so never mind. Womp womp.
Womp 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 womp.
Well, puCK, with the War Prism finally finishing up, I think he's going to feel confident to push across the map. The Observer has an eye on the army of his opponent right now. PHOG, I don't think has any overseers on the map, actually. No, none, so he won't see this.
Yeah, I mean, puCK's actually taking a 4th base in what could be the last place you generally see 4th bases taken. These 5-lings are going to try to fight. puCK's got this Zealot, and look at this little choke. He's trying to fight him off. The +2 versus the +1 Carapace. He does 2-shot them. The Zerglings, not going to be enough, though. puCK brings in some Stalkers to help. But this is it. I feel like puCK is in a very dominating position right now. There's no hive tech or anything like that coming out here. This fourth base not just fully saturated yet. The puCK's going to get aggressive.
Well, PHOG gonna just force to spread his units right now again, trying to find the perfect place to get those force fields off. Guardian Shield goes down, but look at those force fields immediately! Almost AI level of micro coming out of PHOG.
Yeah, so good blocking these units off. And I mean, puCK's just going to trade better and better and better because he has the really powerful upgrades. I mean, +2 attack is now done for PHOG, but how many of his units are actually able to hit these guys?
You know, Nathaniel, those force fields he had defensively were like regular Goku. Now he's in full-on Super Saiyan mode because that was just the most sexy thing I've seen out of force fields in a long time.
Yeah, that was just good. It's so, you know, it's actually really hard to get them in a line like that fast. The Mothership Core goes over here, scouts up, gets picked off. No energy to be used from the Mothership Core, but the Stalkers will attack the top.
They picked off the Queen, which is actually kind of big. That's going to hamper the larva production of our Zerg player. Remaxing not going to be nearly as easy as before, but puCK has got Storm coming up behind this. He's been really efficient without it so far, and Hydralisks, well, they don't fare too well against Storm. They only have 80 health.
Yeah, and here we go. He's going to step up the force field, blocking a lot of PHOG's units in the full arc. Is actually a big Zerg, but there's so many units here from puCK.
And that blink backs
his forces, and those blinks.
Yeah, it's so sick watching this happen. It feels ridiculous, almost unbeatable, you would imagine. But oh man, PHOG gonna be in some trouble. That, you know, we talked about puCK potentially giving away the game, but he has certainly seized it back right now.
Yeah, and look at the bank for PHOG. He doesn't have enough larva to spend all his money. He's been maxed out consistently, pumping out these lings and these roaches, but in the time that it takes him to remax, I feel like these chunks of units are just getting bitten off.
And that's part of losing the Queen there early on. I mean, you don't have that extra larva inject. It's everything at this stage. Big Warfade's coming in. I think PHOG might clean this up, actually. puCK's got to get out of here.
Yeah, puCK's overextended a little bit. These Immortals are getting caught, and these are so important. This is where those lings become so useful. I don't think any of these Immortals are going to make it out.
No, certainly
puCK
not.
pushed a bit too far. He's still got a lot of economy, though.
Well, I want to point out, look how little workers have been killed this game for the crazy onslaught that happened, and consider 2 bases worth of workers were pulled early on. Once again, that whole base was evacuated, not evacuated, but pulled to be a militia, and still, only 16 workers killed. Such a crazy thing to consider in this game. puCK is so far behind his supply right now, and that's, you know, without Colossus, without Area of Effect, well, actually, he's got Storms now available. I didn't think about that, but even so, with limited Storms, it's going to be really hard to deal with this army.
Yeah, I honestly don't even know what the hell is happening in this game. Has been absolutely ridiculous. PHOG, though, little saturation at his third base, and almost no minerals left in the natural. Main's mined out. Not great saturation at his third.
This Zella.
And look at the income tab.
Well, the income tab's nice. I want to put that Zella at the watchtower. They just killed 4 more lings. +3 weapon upgrades are pretty cool.
And he's got 10 kills. That Zealot's a badass. He's got like 7 hit points. He's on the brink of death. He doesn't die. And those stalkers come in to back him up. Did that Zergling see that base, though? Is a real question. Yeah, he knows about that base in the top left.
puCK's got a hole, though. He's got a hole in his wall. Does he realize this? Okay, he does it at the last second. Throws down a gateway to fully wall that off. Only gonna have to worry about the space here. Big storms go off, though. Like it's a lot of the Hydralisks.
Still a lot left, though. puCK needs a couple more storms to hold this. There's none left. The Templar almost has enough energy. There is an Archon here wailing on this army, but I feel like puCK should be able to hold this ramp. But that top left base, it is in some trouble. This army might try to jump down.
Zella kills the Zella without charge, kills the Hydralisk. Okay, that's cool, I guess.
Extreme level here. But yeah, he's going to kill this top left base off puCK.
He doesn't have a lot of storms. He does not have a lot of storms.
He has one. He's one Templar with enough energy for a storm. And yeah, he's actually just going to forfeit it. Realizes there's no way to save it. A lot of probes will die. And to be honest, puCK is back now on 1 base mining economy. So this actually evens out the income tab quite a bit.
And the really scary thing about this 1 base is not just he needs gas so badly. Like if he wants to produce these Templar, get those storms out, you need gas. And off of 3, even with 3 bases mining gas, we see here he's still pretty starved out.
Yeah, it's largely an economic issue. At least he has a bit of gas left. At least puCK does for the income because he can put out more Templar. But this is tough. He can't remax with this base left. There might be barely enough resources if he spent them all perfectly, but he's not going to be able to get up that perfect 200 army that he wants. He's going to have to start making piecemeal decisions here on what he's going to make. And He needs this fourth base that's building in the bottom.
There's a lot of emotions too tied into this game. Maybe not right now, but when puck goes back and realizes like how close he came early on, he might just shoot it, like just absolutely punch a hole in the wall. But PHOG has got to be ecstatic that he's still in this. Like he knew he was so close to the brink of defeat when he pulled all those workers earlier. And I know I keep going back to it, but it was such a big critical moment in this game. Oh man, there's a lot of, if he can box these in.
He's pressing in, the storms are dropping, he takes out a decent chunk of those units. Puck needs this engagement to be absolutely perfect. More storms are dropping, using the time to hold him in place. Another great storm. He's really softened up.
Every storm is like a slap in the face.
He's gonna push him back.
And PHOG, again, caught in that same situation where he can't really remax like crazy. He's getting 14 hydras, 14 more roaches, but this marks the end of his bank. He doesn't, you know, it's a low econ situation, and the Protoss player, if he can just trade effectively, will come out ahead every time.
Indeed, and you know, I really love chasing with the blink. Now, Dark Templar are going to be coming onto the field. That Dark Shrine is about to finish up.
Oh, but the Spire swap too. Both players go for a tech swap that can be very viably good, because the Templar aren't going to take an army fight head on, but they will go behind enemy lines. Same with Mutalisk sniping off probes at the mineral lines.
Yeah, it's just kind of interesting, though. Puck doesn't really, I mean, he doesn't have any Stargates, obviously, but with the Blink, he has so many Stalkers that Mutas would never be able to engage head-on, especially with the Sentries there. They have the Guardian Shield, you have the Archons for Splash. The PHOG, I feel like this is a bit of a brave attack. If he moves into the third...
Nathanius, PHOG just lost his only mining base.
Yeah.
That's actually very critical, because now he can't, like, every Hydra he loses is that much more valuable. He's got 1,200 gas, but no minerals in the bank.
This game.
I'm happy with this game, I'm not going to lie. It's been a little bit more back and forth than I thought it would have been, but it's still entertaining nonetheless. A lot of storms are holstered here, though, Nathanius.
Yeah, I feel like with the number of storms that Puck has here with this army, he's got like what?
Look at PHOG is so spread out. This is so paranoid of these storms.
Yeah. He's spread, but at this, there's a supply for Puck. I feel like he could almost fight this head to head. It's 2-2 versus 3-1. I do like that PHOG is going for some of the buildings in the natural. He's taking out some of the tech. He wants the cyber
realizing,
yeah, now he's gonna get forced to fight. The storms are gonna begin to drop. The first one gets a little bit of damage on. Another great storm on those Hydralisks.
Oh my god. Force field's coming down now too. Meanwhile, Dark Templar's actually chipping away the main of PHOG. I just want to throw that out there. So this is kind of it for PHOG. He doesn't have a comeback from this. If PUCK crushes the army here, PUCK has won this game. And he's got to pull back. It's still, it's still so close.
Archons are so tanky though. It's going to be quite difficult to engage this straight up because there's no retreating for PHOG because
Dark Templar. There's no detection on this side of the field. There's no Overseer. A couple Dark Templar will rout this entire army to death.
Oh my goodness.
Immediately going after
there's an Overseer in the center of the map. You make a great, and I mean, he will be able to bring it over. It doesn't have the speed upgrade for it, of course, but it does buy Puck time, which is what he needs since he does have that mining base in the bottom now.
Yeah, his opponent's still long distance mining. I mean, this is not a good way to have economy.
Yeah, this is crazy, and that Spire completely useless. In fact, it's starting to bleed out now. He's got 1,500 gas, but can't do anything with it. There's nothing to do.
Yeah, he lost his cyber core, but there's still so many gateways up here in the main. Like in a worst case scenario, you can warp in zealots. I mean, he just needs them to tank. But some good force fields locking these into place behind the mineral lines. Get some storms off on top of it. This could go very much so either way. Like, make no mistake, this is a small army, but it's still a volatile army.
Yeah, he does take out the Archon pretty quickly, but there's the first storm beginning to drop. He's trying to do some work on this. Another great storm, actually, hitting that topside jump.
Here we go, stuck by the mineral lines. Good game is called. PUCK will take another victory.
Damn.
Oh, on the road to like...
He wins the next game, and this is a tied match.
This is... Nathaniel, you know what? I was so scared this was going to be a 4-0. And although I had to BRB while it was going on, he did call out Hyun. We'll see if he answers the call. This is pretty wild. We're going to, again, just run another ad real quick. 1 minute of ads, guys, before we get into the next game. On behalf of Showcraft TV. So if you love them, if you like what they're doing, and you want to see more content from them, make sure you watch the commercials. But if you don't and you're tuning in, hey, that's more than enough. We got like 2,000 of you guys enjoying some late-night North American StarCraft 2. And I think that in and of itself is a huge accomplishment.
Yeah, this has been pretty good. I think most anyone, especially people that are watching, can agree this is a lot better than a straight 4-0.
Yeah. Freaking PHOG, man, pulling this back. Red City, Zephyr Jungle, 2 maps left. We'll see who they send out next. This is you know, it's weird because it's not quite tied yet, but it's still pretty down to the wire, I feel. But
Yeah.
I need to actually refill my water real quick, so I will be 1 second while they figure out the map.